the least favorite phrase that I have to be told on Earth is, "Oh my God, you haven't seen that?"
Oh yeah.
I hate it.
I have that same sort of reaction to that phrase.
Because I think they're both,
But for different reasons.
right. I think they're annoying for each of it. I think it's probably annoying for you because it's like, yeah, I get it. I watch movies. Like, that's my thing. There's no way that you could have imbibed every movie.
Right.
Right. So you're bound to skip some. Now, there are some that are surprising.
Yeah. And there are huge swaths of series or genres that I haven't really touched a whole lot of. But there are some where it's like, well, I should have seen The Lost Boys at this point and I just haven't. But we know why I haven't seen that yet.
It's the scariest movie on earth.
Yeah.
I don't like it because it's like up until very recently, I was not a movie guy. Just wasn't into it.
Yeah.
I much preferred television, but realistically, I just kind of preferred like a TV on in the background for a show I'd already seen. Like I didn't really, I'm much more into music. I'm much more into video games a few years ago.
Yeah. And comics.
Sure. So it being like, you haven't seen that? It's like, yeah, no, fucking course not. I'm the newbie. Like, I know I make that joke on here a lot, but
It is true.
We came up with that title for a reason. It took me 50 years to watch Jaws. I'm 31. Do that math.
That's a good bit.
19 years floating in amniotic fluid, just being like, they keep telling me it's good, but I don't know. Spielberg doing a shark, who knows? But recently I found myself, because we've talked about on the show before that I have like an obsessive streak wherein if I get interested in something even a little bit,
You dive like head first into it.
I have to be the expert on it as quickly as possible. So it's what I've done with horror movies, and I've seen so many of them at this point. Just it feels like I'm collecting them like Infinity Stones. Like I have to get them all so that I can snap extra resources because I'm not a purple dick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the point of all of this is that as you have been gone, for those of you who don't know, we record this show very late because Derek, my co-host and lover, his schedule puts him home very late. So, or to the studio, right?
Yeah.
This is the studio.
Yeah. Our home studio.
No. Or just our
just
professional.
okay.
Yeah, we recorded Virgin Records in Times Square, but we record this show very late. So in between of being out of work and waiting for you to get home, I have been trying to watch a movie that I haven't seen. And TikTok is a terrible, vacuous wasteland of true dystopian modern day real life horror.
Yeah.
It is gross. But it is also, for its niches, it's a really useful thing to have. Belle has an entire series of videos on there about Easter eggs and film stuff, which plug Belle DeVelle, Develle. She does film Easter eggs and stuff like the Addams Family, just kind of gothy, media.
Link in the description below. Always.
Because she did our logos and stuff. But I have been trying my best to go through TikTok and watch clips of movies that I have not seen to find the clips of movies that interest me. And I basically spend like 10 minutes after work going through, 30-second, 45-second clips of movies to see which one I want to watch.
Like catches your fancy.
And then I immediately go inside and watch it. So in the last 3 days, I've seen 3 movies that I had never seen before.
Nice.
One of them is ridiculous because we have watched it together, but I fell asleep and missed almost all of it, which was 3 days ago. I watched Alien Resurrection.
Oh, interesting.
I had not seen that movie. Not all the way through. I'd seen like the first 10 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Not great. I then watched Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Holy God, is it good?
Yeah. I walked in to you watching that one about 10 minutes in and then sat and watched the remainder of it with you.
But let's be clear. That was a weird work day for you because you went into work. You left the house to go to work at 4 a.m, woke up at 3 to get ready.
Yes. So by the time the movie was ended and I went to bed again, I had been up for about 25 hours.
Right. And so you walk in and you sit down next to me and you were opening something that resembled Magic cards, but we don't play that game, so it wasn't that.
Yeah, I don't know what it was then.
Yeah. You were opening. Is Yu-Gi-Oh more embarrassing? I'm going to say it is.
Yeah.
You were doing whatever. And you were like, why this? And I was like, because I hadn't seen it. And I saw the clip of, well, spoilers for Nosferatu 5 minutes into the episode. I saw the clip where Thomas has opened his sarcophagus and has a pickaxe and is about to get him. And he kind of snaps awake and catches it. And I was like, damn, he looks gross as fuck. There's like maggots in him and shit. And I was like, that seems really interesting. So I watched it. Amazing.
Yes, it is.
But not my favorite movie I've watched in the last few days.
Okay.
Yesterday, after work, I watched Steven Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can.
Aha.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It was amazing. The clip I watched from that, by the way, spoiler for Steven Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can, is Frank joining the FBI, like being conscripted into the FBI. It's the end of the movie.
Oh, okay.
So I watched the end of the movie and then was like, the whole movie, I'm like, well, when does he join the FBI? When does he become one of the good guys?
Yeah, yeah. That's a movie I've actually never seen.
You've never seen that? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a one-time showing of the Third Channel podcast as we take Manhattan,
where we delve into the horror franchises you love from the perspectives of a lifelong horror fan.
And a newbie to the genre. I'm PJ.
And I'm Derek.
And today, the only thing we're here to walk in here about is horror. Today, we are discussing the best film in its franchise.
Yeah.
No.
No.
We are talking about Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. I was surprised to find out that this was a Friday the 13th movie, not just a Jason does whatever, Jason action. For those of you who don't know, as we move into the next films in the franchise, we lose the Friday the 13th moniker for, I believe, legal reasons.
They sell off the... basically the character of Jason Voorhees to New Line Cinema after this. And in doing so, New Line didn't have the rights to the words Friday the 13th as a title, but they could use adult Jason, the hockey mask, things like that.
From my understanding, too, Sean S. Cunningham kept the rights for Friday the 13th and was just like, no, don't touch that. Or somebody
one
related
or
to
the,
the
yeah, I
production.
believe it's, I think he kept the rights to Jason, adult Jason.
Oh, is
and
it
then
Mancuso
I
Jr.?
think no, I think Steve Miller, who's the writer, I believe, of the original.
Oh.
I think he kept the rights to like Kid Jason, Pamela Voorhees, and Friday the 13th.
All I know is that is part of the reason that we haven't had one of these in as long as we've had.
It's been like 16 years.
Which is a goddamn shame, because we don't deserve these. These are terrible.
We need something better.
In the immortal words of Red Letter Media film critic Mike Stoklasa, they should just call this one Jason on a Boat. And he's not wrong.
Yeah, that's what I used to like. I used to call it Jason Takes the Boat because this is one, and we'll get into this, I guess, or we can share it right now. Of like, I hated this movie the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
So it was one
So
of those.
did I.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we did a double feature last night where we watched it twice in a row. Much like the first time I saw this movie, the second time I saw this movie, I was like, man, I do not like that.
Yeah.
And then the third time, nothing changed.
What? Nothing
It's bad
changed.
all three times. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those. This is one of those weird ones where I hated it originally, and it was not one that I revisited a whole lot. But in recent years, showing it to other people and kind of looking at the series as a whole, I enjoy it more. I think I've even kind of like spoken not highly of, but like definitely been like, no, I kind of enjoy that one in our last couple episodes. Rewatching it this time, I'm just kind of like, this movie just kind of exists.
Yeah. Well, and so that's the question, right? Is because famously most people dislike the next movie in this franchise the most, which is Jason Goes to Hell. Most people dislike that one, and they dislike it for good reasons. We won't get into those now. A couple weeks from now, you'll hear all about how much I fucking despise that movie. But the question is which one is guiltier? Because Jason Goes to Hell does a bunch of really weird stuff, and all of it's bad. None of it pays off. It's all super weird. But they're trying things. This movie feels like the laziest formula cookie cutter. It tries nothing. It does nothing new. If anything, it just moves the set location, which is the thing that's made the series charming up until now. So like, I dislike this movie a lot.
Yeah. With those points that you just made in mind, it's like, Jason Goes to Hell, they are trying things, but they do it in a way that it takes it away. Like, it doesn't even feel like a Friday the 13th movie anymore. No. Whereas this one is like, we've just distilled it down to its most like tepid. These are the moments that make a Friday the 13th movie, and we're just going to have him wander from place to place and set up a kill, and it's going to happen, and then move on. Right.
The other criticism I have of this movie is that it feels very much like, with zero spark of ingenuity or creativity, they went, let's make this kind of like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
It does kind of give you those vibes.
A lot of dreamy shit, a lot of weird like visions, and and there's a scene that we'll get to that deals with the rowboat later on, like towards the third act of the movie, that really feels nightmare to me. But man, there is no Nightmare on Elm Street movie that is as bad as the worst Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. I think that, and we've discussed this before, and Freddy versus Jason, I think, is where we'll really, take the gloves off, where we'll really, get into the nitty of which of them is better overall. But this is where you're going to start to see the average of Friday the 13th being pretty good movies. This is where you're going to see that average start to taper off a bit, because this one's rough.
Yeah. And it doesn't, I don't know. It has some interesting like little moments in it, but for the most part, it's just kind of like you get to the end and it's like, what did we achieve here?
Well, Jason went to Manhattan.
He did technically go there.
Yeah. He bought a I Love New York shirt. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to take the tour of the Twin Towers.
Right.
Which he would then later horribly regret.
Yeah.
But then he went to space, so I guess none of that mattered. Friday the 13th, part VIII: Jason takes Manhattan. Jason ships out aboard a teen-filled love boat bound for New York, which he soon transforms into the ultimate voyage of the damned. Now, what I do like about that synopsis is they only talk about the boat.
Yeah.
They don't talk about Manhattan.
Yeah, because
for two reasons.
All but the last like 20 to 30 minutes are on a boat.
And 3 of those 30 minutes at the end are actually in New York. The rest of it is on sound stages.
Friday the 13th, part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, was released in July 28th of 1989. This is the last Friday the 13th film to be released before I was born.
It's also not on a Friday the 13th.
No, because I was thinking about that with the releases of this like franchise specifically. It's interesting because a Friday the 13th can happen like in almost any month. So you could, it's not like, oh, well, we got to do a Halloween release, or we got to do it's got to be during the fall, or it's got to be doing a whatever. It's like, no, it could be any time, but then they just didn't have one or didn't choose to drop it on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the deal is. But it is written and directed by Rob Hedden. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Spell it.
Hedden.
That's Hedden.
Oh, okay. Well, butchered that. Sorry, Rob.
It's Butcher.
It's produced by Randolph Cheveldave.
Yeah,
maybe Chevel.
Dude, why not Cheveldave?
Yeah, let's stick with that. The cinematography was done by Brian England. He had also shot Cheerleader Camp, which was an 88 slasher comedy starring Betsy Russell, who plays Jill Kramer in the Saw franchise.
Kramer?
Mm-hmm. He also shot The American Scream, an 88 horror comedy, Wicked Stepmother, an 89 fantasy comedy, I, Madman, which was a slasher film. My Mom's a Werewolf, which was an 89 B horror comedy starring John Saxon.
Oh my God.
Gate 2, supernatural horror film. And then the Tom McLaughlin directed TV horror film, Sometimes They Come Back. Tom McLaughlin, who did Friday 6.
Friday 6.
It's edited by Steve Merkovich or Merkovich. I don't know where you put the emphasis there. But he also was the editor for John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China and Prince of Darkness.
Okay. I love that movie.
I mean, those are, a little before this.
If I read the Letterboxd summary right now for Prince of Darkness, do we just talk about that one
we
instead?
just launch right into it.
Okay, here we go.
Donald Pleasance. And then he was also the editor for Spellbinder, which was a supernatural horror film. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 91.
Whoa.
I Know What You Did Last Summer in 1997. Valentine, which is another 2001 slasher. I Know What You Did Last Summer and Valentine both kind of capitalized on what Scream had done. And then he also edited Devil's Pass, a 2013 found footage movie, which was also directed by Rennie Harlan.
He did Dream Master because he's the one that Robert Shea drove around to look at the premieres.
And then I guess he also edited the 2 escape room movies that came out in like 2019 and 2021, those horror movies. I haven't seen those.
You haven't seen I haven't either. That was a weird movie. The first one was a weird movie. I was going to go with a group of friends and like got a ticket and was ready to go. And then didn't want to say out loud, like, oh, I don't do horror movies because I'm a giant puss. So I like faked being really sick and then gave somebody else my ticket and just went home.
Okay. You've come a long way. The budget on this movie is surprisingly $5.1 to $5.5 million is the range here. That's up from $2.8 million from the last film. So a considerable amount more, even though the last movie didn't make as much.
Okay.
And then this one dropped even further at $14.3 million from $19.2 million. So at the time of production, this was actually the most expensive film in the franchise. And then with that gross, it made it the poorest performing film in the Friday the 13th series up to date.
In this period of time, for a horror movie to make $14 million with this franchise weight, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's awful. That's underperforming the Halloween movies that are coming out at this point.
Because you have to think like it's the popularity there is like at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Because you've got a TV series, so even just the name Friday the 13th is out there at the time. This is literally number 8. This is also the longest running time of any of the Friday the 13th films.
It felt like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of meandering for bits.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of scene, kill.
Well, it's a movie, and then you tag all the Manhattan shit at the end of it. Because everything that happens on the boat is a self-contained story. It's its own movie.
Yeah. The director and writer, Rob Hedden, had also written and directed 2 episodes of Friday the 13th, the series. And those episodes are called Electrocutioner, which is about a dentist uses a cursed electric chair to seek revenge against those who wronged him. And the other episode is called 13 O'Clock. And it says Ryan, Mickey, and Jack track down an antique pocket watch that allows its owners to freeze time. It's important that I brought up those 2 episodes because of other things that he then went on to make.
Okay.
Because I just think it's fascinating. He later directed The Colony, a 1995 TV crime drama, Any Place But Home, a 97 crime drama, Dying to Live, a 99 fantasy drama, Kidnapped in Paradise, a TV, basically a bunch of TV movies.
Right.
And then he is also the writer and co-producer of a 2002 sci-fi adventure film called Clock Stoppers. Are you familiar with the movie Clock Stoppers from 2002?
Yes.
The description for that movie reads, a teenager accidentally activates a wristwatch that enables him to stop time.
So it's exactly the same.
Yes. And then stranger than that, on top of everything else, Clock Stoppers, I found, was directed by Jonathan Frakes, who played Riker in Star Trek The Next Generation.
Fuck.
So completely unrelated, but really weird.
Again, I've said this on this show a dozen times. There are things that you say where I'm like, you made that up. This, if there was ever an example of something that you're saying that I believe, but it does sound like you made it up, it's that shit right there, dude.
The producer, Randolph Shoveldave, was the production manager for April Fool's Day, the slasher from '86. He also was the producer for Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, which is a 1997 live action show where they introduced a fifth turtle, like a female turtle named Venus de Milo, I believe.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I know nothing about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah. I think we talked about this the other day.
I know nothing about it.
Yeah. I haven't seen that series. It ran for like a season, I think.
Yeah.
But then he also was the producer for First Wave, which is an alien invasion series that ran from 1998 to 2001. And then The Stranger Game, which was a TV thriller, The Tooth Fairy, a straight-to-video horror film, and then a TV horror film from '07 called Nightmare, starring Haley Duff. Hilary Duff's sister. The music in this movie is done by Fred Mullen. So this is one of the few that Harry Manfredini actually doesn't get any music credit for. Instead, it's done by Fred Mullen, who had done music for Fast Company, which was a racing movie directed by David Cronenberg from '79. It also starred John Saxon. And then we've talked about him before because he also did the music for The New Blood, Friday the 13th Part 7, and then all the episodes of Friday the 13th, the series.
Okay.
After the disappointment with the box office of The New Blood, director John Carl Buechler began developing a follow-up which reprised the character of Tina Shepard, again facing off against Jason after her release from an insane asylum, which makes sense. You've set up this new character who can kind of go toe-to-toe with Jason. Like, why would she only get a one-off?
It is exactly what happens with the Nightmare franchise around this point, where you leave Dream Warrior and then go immediately into the next one where it's the character from the last one facing him again after leaving, kind of, being in a mental institute. But
yeah. But at the same time, Lar Park Lincoln, who had portrayed Tina in that movie, she also co-wrote with her husband an alternative screenplay, which had Tina working as a psychologist for troubled girls. So they were both kind of working on ideas of where to take that character in the next movie. She had originally wanted to sign on to reprise her role as Tina in Part 8, but she wanted a higher salary than what they were willing to offer her.
Sure.
And so she turned down the part, and then Paramount decided to rewrite the entire script and take the movie to a whole new direction, which later, it basically excluded the character of Tina and didn't carry on anything from Part 7 to this. They opted to assign the project to writer-director Rob Hedden, marking his feature film debut with this movie as a director.
Okay.
He was a former employee of Universal Studios, and so he had strove to devise a screenplay in which Jason would travel outside of Camp Crystal Lake. One of his original ideas was to set the film solely aboard a cruise ship with Jason hiding in the lower levels. And he described it as a little bit of Das Boot with a little bit of Aliens, with the claustrophobic feeling, a storm at sea, that sort of stuff. Which I can kind of see. I think I made the joke. Actually, no, it was when we were watching Nosferatu. I made the joke. We have to pause here, watch the last voyage of the Demeter,
right?
That entire other vampire movie,
right?
And then come back. But that's what that movie feels like, is like Alien, but on a ship, like a sailing vessel.
Okay, interesting.
The alternative concept was to place Jason in a large city, such as New York. And, the director had commented everything about New York was going to be completely exploited and milked. They were going to be like a scene on the Brooklyn Bridge. They were going to go to a boxing match in Madison Square Garden. Jason would go through a department store. He'd go through Times Square. He'd go to a Broadway play. He'd crawl on top of the Statue of Liberty and dive off. They were going to completely do every major thing that they could in New York and kind of take advantage of the whole thing.
Well, if they were going for New York stuff, like New York cliches in the 80s, he also would have had to have paid for sex.
Yeah.
In a seedy club that's right off of Times Square. And then he would have had to have been beaten by a police officer.
Yeah. Which... I assume those are in the script as well, the original script, but
sure.
they must have, had to cut those. for time, probably.
Yeah.
But they, after receiving the approval by Paramount Pictures for both concepts, both the like putting him in New York or putting him on a boat, he decided to combine both of them, with the first act of the film occurring on board a ship and the second in the streets of Manhattan. That decision was mainly made because of budgetary restrictions, because filming exclusively in New York would have cost them way too much money that they were not willing to spend. And the shift in the setting, Hedden also stated that he wanted to examine the character of Jason Voorhees like as a child. And so that's why you get those hallucinations throughout the movie.
That doesn't do that, though.
No, not really.
There's no narrative payoff for that at all. There's no character exploration in that at all. You're just showing a kid drowning.
Yeah.
Is that like, I guess that is the biggest part of his childhood, is that he fucking drowned.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Thethe's nothing else to glean from that, I don't think.
That makes me so mad. Well, we want to explore Jason's childhood, but only about a 30-second to 60-second window of his childhood where he passed away from the water.
But he got better.
He did. He shrugged it off. He did some murders about it. He was fine.
Yeah, that's his therapy. He's working through things.
Oh, good.
The director had previously worked as a writer for Paramount on MacGyver, and he had really wanted to direct. So when they asked him to write for the Friday the 13th, the series, he said he'd only do it if he could also direct. So they didn't like the sound of that, but they gave him. They were really desperate for writers. And so they gave him the job of writing and directing these 2 episodes, and they were really impressed to then offer him the job to write and direct this movie. When it came to casting, actress Jensen Daggett was cast as the lead of Rennie Wickham. Lisa Wilcox, who played Alice in Dream Master and Dream Child, she was offered the role in the film but turned it down. Scott Reeves was cast as the role of Sean at the last minute after the producers felt that the previous cast, like the actor who they had cast before, they had done some test screenings or test shooting and stuff, and he had no chemistry with the lead, Daggett.
Well, yeah, because she's a dead-eyed boar.
We run into a lot of those in these movies.
Yeah, especially now. Is that cocaine?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, it was the 80s. This film also marked the feature debut of actress Kelly Hu, which, if that isn't a name that you're familiar with, whenever I go over her stuff later, it's kind of wild.
Okay. I don't even know whose character that is.
Right.
Like whose actress that is.
Good. And then the studio was looking for a Canadian actor to play Jason for this role. And so Ken Kersinger was considered to play him. But Kane Hodder was determined to convince Paramount to hire him again. And to his surprise, they felt he wouldn't be interested to reprise the role. So Ken would instead play Kane's stunt double in this movie and eventually would replace Kane in Freddy vs. Jason. The film was shot in April of 1989 at a few locations in the United States, but the primary filming locations were in British Columbia, Canada, particularly in Vancouver. The alleyway scenes were shot in Vancouver, and then after filming was wrapped in Los Angeles for the other remainder of those scenes, then they shot for 2 days on location in New York City, including Times Square.
Yeah.
And they used all of that footage.
If 89 is a familiar year to use cinephiles out there, the reason 89 is familiar is because that is common nomenclature to refer to Tim Burton's Batman, the original. Not Begins, not Forever, just Batman. People call it 89 Batman, which is funny because in the very beginning, and we'll get more into this, but in the very beginning of the film, we open to weird trailer footage of New York with a voiceover.
Yeah.
And in Times Square, you see the footage of, they have the poster in Times Square, lit up for Batman. And then the next shot, it's gone.
Yes. That's especially weird whenever we get into the timeline of it all.
Oh yeah.
Because with all the time jumps and everything else through all these different movies, because this takes place, I guess, about a year after the events of part 7.
So it's 2015.
Well, no, not quite, but it is 1998 apparently. So unless they were just doing a re-release in theaters, they were real excited about a movie that
This
was
is supposed to take place in 98.
98.
I don't think so. I think it's supposed to take place in 89 and they just don't fucking care.
What?
It's like the whole weird math about Texas Chainsaw about Alexandra Daddario is like a 70-year-old woman.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you do the math, she's like in her at least late 50s.
That math is not mathing.
Right. And it's like that. I think that they did a time jump and then we're like, yeah, but we did a time jump for the one where it's not even Jason. Like we did a time jump for 5.
Yeah,
and they're like, yeah, fuck it. Whatever. Tommy's dead anyway.
No, he's not. He's just out there.
No, he suffered a massive heart attack after the events of Jason Lives.
Oh my God. The Times Square sequence was shot while pedestrian onlookers like were watching them shoot it. And so, because obviously once it got out that they were shooting Friday the 13th in the middle of Times Square, people showed up to watch.
That's awesome though.
Kane Hodder, he recalls pointing at fans in between takes, like pointing like especially hard at one of them, and she fainted apparently. Just people just actually legitimately freaked out by him in full costume.
That's awesome.
He said that he really like his favorite experiences was shooting that scene, but he hated the idea of like ever taking the mask off and kind of ruining it for people. And so he would just stay in costume and just like between takes, just like whip around and just look at people.
That's so doing the heavy shoulder breathing. That's so cool.
Yeah. Kane is the best.
Alistair has met him many times.
Yeah.
He frequents Spooky Empire. But the next time he's there, I really would like to meet him because apparently he's just really good company, like a really, really good guy. Really loves the character, really loves the series. So every time I hear a story about him doing something like this, it's always just so nice because the fame of a cool character like this couldn't have gone to somebody who deserves it more.
Exactly. And then finally, it's funny that you mentioned the I Love New York thing off the top is the promotion for this film. Paramount Pictures originally began with an advertising campaign that featured Jason slashing through the I Love New York logo. And that was featured on the original movie poster. But that poster went out. It was distributed. And then they had to replace it because someone from the New York State Economic Development Committee filed a complaint against Paramount for the unauthorized use of the I Love New York logo.
So last week, I said I was going to do something.
Oh, okay.
And you said, write that down so you don't forget.
Yeah.
And I did. I didn't forget.
Wow.
And now we're going to play a game show called Can Derek Remember Details of Characters from the last Friday the 13th movie without using any of his notes?
From the last movie?
From Friday the 13th, Part 7.
Oh, man.
The New Blood. I'm going to give you 6, 7, 8 names off the list of characters. And you have to give me any detail about them. Either the way they look, a line, what they are to our main character, anything.
Okay.
Are you ready?
So we had just to pull the curtain back just a little bit. We had talked about this and I forgot that it was going to be about last time's movie. I thought it was going to be about today. So I really studied my notes for Takes Manhattan.
No.
So this is a bit of a curveball. So hopefully I'm ready.
Well, this should be easy.
I know it should be.
These are home names.
I know. Everybody knows.
All right, here we go. We're going to rip the Band-Aid off. Eddie McCarlo.
Eddie McCarlo. Okay.
Any detail.
Eddie is oh God, there's two options. Eddie is either the stoner guy or he's the sci-fi writer.
But which one?
Sci-fi writer?
Ding, ding.
Oh my God.
You got it.
Okay.
He's a sci-fi writer. Very good. Okay. Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Judy Williams.
Is she's the redhead who gets thrown out the window? No. Her name starts with an R.
Any detail at all?
Judy.
Judy Williams is the girl who gets crushed in the sleeping bag.
Oh my God. Yeah, I would have never pulled that out.
Of course not. Okay. Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Robin Peterson.
Robin is the redhead.
Correct.
Okay. I knew it started with an R.
Yeah, very good. Up next, Russell Bowen.
Russell Bowen is it's his uncle's house that the kids are staying in.
Okay. How was he killed?
Axe to the face.
Very good.
On the shore of the lake.
Wow, I'm amazed by this.
Like as I like I'm just replaying it in my head, like the events of that movie.
There are 13 more characters in this list of characters. You did way better.
Yeah.
You did so good that it's like it's no longer the joke. Now it's like actually kind of impressive. My favorite, by the way, Melissa Parr. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, that concludes this week's, because I'm going to do this again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good, because I'll definitely remember all of the fascinating characters in Jason Takes Manhattan.
Hey, what's wrong?
Nothing.
Come on, Jimmy, something's bothering you.
Just that we're right around that summer camp where all those murders took place.
What murders?
You don't want to know about it.
Tell me.
Forget about it, Susie. The guy's dead now. Somewhere at the bottom of this lake, if you believe the stories.
What stories?
There was this boy named Jason Voorhees. Drowned in Bristol Lake about 30 years ago. None of the counselors heard him. A bunch of years went by. Everyone forgot about it. And that's when the murder started to happen.
Jason did it?
His mother blamed the counselors for her son's death, and she tried to kill them all. But she got her head chopped off by one of them. Legend has it that Jason came back to get even, vowing to kill every teenager in the area. And every now and then, the murders just start up. Forget about it, Susie. They're just stories.
For those of you who are confused about the rumbling, almost fart-like sounds occurring towards the beginning of the dialogue of that clip, no, that young gentleman is not shitting wind. He is instead on a boat.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie is boats.
Yes.
It's boats and then the Big Apple. Yeah, this scene is kind of basically the opening. Technically, the opening is a bunch of shots of New York with like a voice that's like, he came to finally get revenge. And it's like, I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, it's an odd opening with a narrator, but not like the narrator that was at the beginning of the like one of the last movies where it's Crazy Ralph. Giving like a backstory of Jason. Instead,
Right.
it's like a radio guy in New York who's like just talking about living in the city. And they paint this picture of New York. And you basically, in this like little montage with the opening credits, is you get all these like set pieces that we're then going to see again at the end of the movie. Because you see like the muggers, like the drug dealers, they like mug somebody and then they're shooting up in the alley.
My assumption is a simple one. My assumption is they watched the movie in the edit and they were like, oh shit, this is so long. Man, it says Takes Manhattan. People are going to forget that they went to New York. Well, okay. Take some of the B-roll that we got, like the location footage, and you just have somebody talk over it.
Yeah.
They're like, why? And they were like, because we know about Jason and we know about New York and boats. Do what we say. And they were like, yes, sir, studio executive.
But then we kind of follow it up with, I like the shot that ends the montage because it's like, it's down in the water and it's looking up at the Statue of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And then the shot kind of sinks below the water. And then it rises back up and we're at Camp Crystal Lake.
Well, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll get to why in just a moment. It is the most obnoxious detail in this movie. It keeps me up at night. Yeah, this is the cookie cutter shit that we were complaining about. The boat is a new element.
Yeah.
But it's two young characters, probably in their late teens, early 20s, discuss the murders.
Yeah, because they are part of this graduating class. So they are seniors.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're 18 years old.
Mhm.
They are on a boat, probably this child's father's boat. And they're on the boat and they're talking about Jason. And then, God damn it. The camera pans to the bottom of Crystal Lake.
Well, you got to drop anchor at some point, you know?
because he drops the anchor, and it's one of those, like, it catches a rock or something. It's one of those anchors, and it lands on the ocean floor, and it drags to a giant power cable that is running under the water. Now, I don't know why they would need this for, like, the lake. I also don't know why it would be right on the shore.
Yeah, I don't know.
I also don't know how Jason managed to get on top of it, but either way,
it was down there.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, at the end of the last movie, he was on the dock.
Right.
And Tina's dead father,
who is nowhere to be found in this film,
he popped up.
Right.
And he wrapped a chain around him and he drug him down.
Right.
And so Jason is now down there with the collapsed dock and no father.
But what I find funny is that Jason doesn't have a dad.
No.
It's fatherless homes in this country, not guns or whatever. No, it is. It is, though. But he lands at the bottom of the last movie because he is dragged under.
Yeah.
But in this movie, all that wood of the dock is just also laying on top of him.
Yeah.
Because they didn't watch the last one.
Maybe they went down there and he struggled with the dad for a bit.
We don't see any of this.
Maybe he put up a good fight. Is
And
what
like
I'm
he
saying.
drags the dock down.
Yeah.
We didn't see any of that.
No.
But we do see him lying, and it's so stupid looking because it's just two little feet.
Uh-huh.
Like the fucking Wizard of Oz. These 2 feet sticking out from under a dock that the cable is running under. So either one of two things happened, because it wasn't there in the lake during Jason Lives. It wasn't down there. And it wasn't down there when he rises up from the lake in New Blood. So either we just didn't see it somehow. It was buried under the sand or something, or they ran it in between New Blood and Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, they're going to open the camp again.
Can you imagine, like, so there's a dead guy under here with a bunch of chains over? I don't know. Put it under him.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's coming out of his, it's like it goes right through his crotch.
Could you just run it under him?
But so Jason's dead fucking body is laying under a bunch of shit rotten wood. The anchor connects itself to the cables and electrocutes him back to life again.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, really, it doesn't matter what happens next, because this is another movie, just like the last one, where every kill is weak and off screen. I think there is one kill that you kind of see. Well, there's a decapitation later on. But there's like a throat slit.
Yes, the captain. Yeah. Now, the other thing, while we're talking about the ending of the last movie, Jason's hockey mask splits open and is destroyed in that movie.
Shatters to pieces.
And then he goes down under the water, his watery grave again, but sans mask.
He's maskless. The good news is that the child, the man child,
Jim is his name.
Jim. So Jim Halpert comes in.
There are 2 characters named Jim in this film, if I'm not mistaken. So next time, whenever you're like, Jim, you got to be specific.
And you still won't remember, I hope. But Jim comes out. Jim Halpert comes out and he makes the face to the camera. But the face is behind a hockey mask because he just happens to have a hockey mask that's imperfect. It's perfectly not broken, except it has a big gash.
Yeah.
Where the axe hit Jason in final chapter.
Yeah. It's
or no, I guess that would have been 3D.
It's really lucky.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's like the same spot. So then you're thinking, oh, well, maybe somebody put Jason's mask back together, but then it doesn't have any of like the propeller damage. So he just happens to have whatever, doesn't matter. He's got the mask. Jason kills them. He tries to shoot one of them with a harpoon gun.
Yeah, they're for a second, I thought they were going to do kind of a melding of the harpoon gun from 3 and the stab through the 2 lovers on the bed from 2.
That would have been creative.
And it's like, do them both together. It's a reference back to things we've seen before.
No, unfortunately what happens is he shoots the harpoon out of the gun. He misses. She gets up and escapes out of the weird like bedroom boat window. So then he walks up to the young man and just shoves the harpoon gun into him, we assume, because you don't see it.
Yeah.
And then he pulls the harpoon gun away and it's covered in blood. And then he goes out. And then it's like a really long sequence where she's hiding. And so they show where she is hiding. And then they show Jason walk around the entire like front of the boat to get to where she's hiding. She's hiding in like a little storage chest in the front. And then he finally sees it. And it's like, remember we showed you this door 10 seconds ago where she was hiding? Look, it's the door. Because they do the same shot, like the reaction shot where they pull down and show the door. It's like, yeah, we just saw this. Anyway, he opens it and he sees her down there. She's screaming. He sticks her with the harpoon. And that's
really slow.
Yeah.
It's the slowest thing ever.
She could have done anything.
She could have literally done anything.
But she doesn't try anything. She just sits there and screams. And then he sticks her. And this is the title sequence.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say here is that Jason Voorhees, like we've said, is played by Kane Hodder. We spoke about him last week, and we will continue to speak about him for the next couple more Friday movies. The only thing that I wanted is to kind of clear up, and I don't know if I misspoke last time or not, but Kane Hodder is both an actor and a stunt performer. So he's done a bunch of stunt work in other horror films, The Hills Have Eyes 2, Prison, which is a movie he did directed by Rennie Harlan before this. But then he also did stunt work as Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. So he didn't play Leatherface in the movie, if that was kind of how I worded it, or if that's how it sounded. It also is weird because Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 is technically titled Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Okay.
But there's another actor who I believe was a wrestler who was Leatherface in that movie. But Kane did the stunt work as him. So he has, in that way, played both Jason and Leatherface.
I mean, when you think about what a slasher typically is, it's a stuntman in a mask. So, like, if he's in the Leatherface mask doing stunts for 3, then, yeah, he kind of was Leatherface.
Yeah. And then when we get to Jason Goes to Hell, Kane likes to tell the story of he also is the one who gets to play Freddy's glove at the end of that movie. So he's kind of played all 3.
And then when we get to Hatchet 3, he plays Victor Crowley in the best film ever made by a person. Citizen who? Citizen Crowley.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's really good. Thank you. The SS Lazarus is the name of the ship that all these students are getting on.
Yeah, and Crystal Lake looks super weird. It looks like Maine. It's like, or maybe not Maine. I don't know. A place. It looks like the Appalachian Mountains.
Yes. Now this is always a point of like contention where this movie is like, it doesn't make any sense that, you pointed out. What's the definition of a lake?
A lake is specifically a body of water that is surrounded by land. The opposite of an island, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
But the good news for us here, I was going to say unfortunately, but then I realized it's the best news ever. Crystal Lake in Jersey connects to the ocean
somehow
to get you to Manhattan.
Yeah. So I've in our rewatches, I've been trying to figure out if there was anything in the movie that hinted at what was going on here. Because it is. We cut to this dock with this giant like steam ship that they're going to get on. And then the little like kind of like luxury or houseboat or whatever that couple was on floats up to the dock and like crashes or like kind of bumps into it. And you see the blood. And the deckhand from the Lazarus, he sees that with the blood on the window, and he immediately is just like, "Oh, we're damned. This boat is damned. Jason's coming for us."
Now listen, we both know my favorite character in these fucking movies is Crazy Ralph.
Yeah.
We both know that. We both know that I have planned a life-size portrait tattoo of his head on my stomach, so that I can use my belly button to make him say, "Divgers." We both know this.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy is no fucking Crazy Ralph.
No, he is not.
He's just a thin-faced goon standing on a deck in a stupid fucking beanie, and I wish Jason got him first.
Yeah, he's up there gooning. And
I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
But later in the movie, whenever he does another one of his reveals of like, it's Jason, we're all gonna die, he says that there was a boat that came down the river. And so are we supposed to then believe that
the
Crystal Lake is attached to a river that then leads out to a larger body of water, which is where these kids are getting on the ship to then go to Manhattan?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's the best I got.
Well, so, okay. The idea then being Jason kills those kids and just rides the boat through the Crystal Lake Well, it wouldn't connect to a fucking. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, they get on this cruise and we're
Yeah.
introduced to basically everybody at once.
Yeah. Our first and lead is Rennie Wickham, played by Jensen Dackett. She is in the rom-com from '92, The Opposite Sex and How to Live with Them. She was also in a TV thriller called Dead Before Dawn, and she was in Project Alf, which is a 1996 TV movie which acted as a sequel to the show.
Okay, here's my question. Who does she play in that?
A doctor of some kind.
Damn it.
But she's like third build. So she is up there.
Wow.
And then she was in the sports comedy film Major League Back to the Minors, which I don't know if that's the second or the third in the Major League franchise. I've never seen
I
them.
don't know, but in no context should you ever go back to minors. That's the problem with Hollywood.
Oh
Release
my
the list, am I right?
Yeah.
Release the list.
And then she was also in another rom-com called Telling You in 1998. And then her like longest leading role here is she was Nancy Taylor in Home Improvement. But Rennie is being dropped off or brought to this this dock with this ship by one of her teachers, Miss Van Dusen. And she gifts her this pen, which was supposedly used by Stephen King in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And it does come back. So it is like a setup payoff. And we're also introduced to her dog, Toby,
Mm-hmm.
which for the first rewatch of this, we kept missing his name. And so we went the whole movie just going, did they never give this dog a name?
It would have been way funnier if they hadn't.
Yes.
If we were right and they just didn't bother naming. It's like, come here, dog. Come here, little dog.
But this is the senior class of Lakeview High School, and this is their graduation boat trip to New York.
Lakeview High School sounds to me like it's a high school near a lake.
Mm-hmm. The teacher, Colleen Van Dusen, is played by Barbara Bingham. She was in Terror at London Bridge, which was a slasher movie from '85 starring Clu Gulager, Adrian Barbeau, and David Hasselhoff.
What? So you're telling me that not only was it the guy from Knight Rider,
Uh-huh.
but it's also Jesse's dad from Freddy's Revenge?
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
And then whatever her character's name is in The Fog. Because Adrian Barbeau is in The Fog.
Fog lady.
Yeah. She was also in a horror movie in 1990 called Beyond Darkness, and she was in the horror comedy Scare Package 2 in 2022. They are basically her teacher's bringing her there, and the other professor, Dr. or Mr. or whatever, Charles McCullough.
McCulloch, I
Yeah.
think is what they call
Their
it.
pronunciation, like every kid's pronunciation of his name is different the entire movie.
Listen up, Mikulik. You and I need to have a talk.
He is revealed to be Rennie's uncle.
Yes.
And then much later than this, it's revealed that her parents had passed. And so I guess he is kind of her legal guardian.
Yeah, he's also a big creep.
He's the worst.
Something I will say as we bring up McCulloch is Walker Watch.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, Walker gave this film 3 stars
okay.
compared to your 2.5 stars
Mhm.
and my 1.5 stars. He gave it 3 whole stars.
Wow.
But in his review, and it's interesting to point out because I hadn't viewed it like this. But he said this movie would have been 10 times better if Tamara and Eva were the final girls.
Mhm.
The fact Tamara pulled a Stormy Daniels on McCulloch, blackmailing a potential pedophile. And he goes on. But I didn't look at McCulloch in the pedophile
Mhm.
light. But then reading this, I'm looking back through my memory of the film and it's like, I mean, he does give off that vibe.
Yeah.
Like if somebody held up a newspaper and was like, that guy's a diddler, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
he might.
Thanks, Walker.
But Charles McCulloch is played by Peter Mark Richmond. He has done a lot of TV work from the 1950s through the 90s, including doing voices for Batman the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, and Batman Beyond.
This is my favorite guy.
He was in a 1988 horror film called Judgment Day, which starred Cesar Romero.
What?
who, for those who don't know, played the Joker in the 66 Batman.
Have you ever
show.
seen old pictures of a guy dressed up as the Joker who obviously still has a very thick mustache with just white paint over it? That's Cesar Romero.
And then Peter Mark Richmond was also in Naked Gun 2.5. And I want to give you props here because you called it. While we were watching, you were like, I bet this guy is in Star Trek. And he is. He's in an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation called The Neutral Zone.
And I think I realized why I think he was in Star Trek. Like, I'm pretty sure I discovered the reason. He looks like white version of Ricardo Montalban.
Oh, okay.
So I think I saw that and was like, okay.
Oh, but yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. So, he's in the white version of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Friday the 13th. And then we're introduced to Sean Robertson. He is the captain's son, and he is gifted an old and a new navigation tool. Because his father is, and this is also like a little cut moment where the whole reason that they're going on this excursion is because his dad is the captain of the ship. It's the only reason that works out that they could do this cruise in the first place.
Oh. Why would they film that? That's just what I assumed.
Yeah. I think that may be why they cut it out, because there's a lot of those little moments of just like exposition or like, hey, you should go and drop the anchors. And then later on when we catch up with her and she's dropping the anchor and somebody stops her and then she's just like, well, he told me to go drop the anchors. And so I was like, oh, I guess we don't need both of those moments.
Right. Something that you had said that they recast this character because the original had zero chemistry with the lead. Neither does this guy. I'm not kidding. Neither does this guy. This guy is like a bucket of water with like some sand in it. Like, it is the most boring performance and it's grating. Yeah. I don't like him. That's the thing about this movie. I don't like anybody. I don't like any of the characters.
There's like one character that I like and they are killed almost immediately.
Is it the cool chick with the guitar?
Yep.
I don't mind the camera kid.
Yeah.
Like, his performance is fun. His death is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And it happens pretty quick, so don't worry about it. But like, yeah, I don't like any characters in this. The only character I like in this movie is Jason. Mm-hmm. He truly is the hero.
Yeah, no, that's especially toward the end. But Sean Robertson is played by Scott Reeves. He was in the comedy film Big Man on Campus in '89. Edge of Honor, an adventure thriller film from '91 that starred Corey Feldman and Meredith Salinger. And then Scott Reeves had done plenty of TV work, including 20 episodes of Days of Our Lives.
That's chump change.
Short stint. He was in The Young and the Restless for 565 episodes.
Okay, we're getting closer.
And then he was in General Hospital, some later seasons there, for 307 episods.
See, those are the 500 in Days of Our Lives. That's fine, but those are rookie numbers compared to the thousands of episodes sometimes these people do.
Yeah, that's true. Jason pops out of the water here and climbs up a rope onto the ship.
A la the skeleton pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah, that's a good pull.
Yeah.
Those are spooky. This is also pretty spooky because it's Jason.
We see Jason in the sunlight for the first time here.
Good point.
Like in the film, we see him for the first time well lit. His mask is so yellow. Mm-hmm. It's like somebody took a Jason mask and used a highlighter. Mm-hmm. It is bizarre.
It's like they left it out in the sun and it's like bleached in a weird way.
I wonder if it is for artistic design or I wonder if they had toys for this series.
Oh, maybe.
Because that's the reason that that's the reason that characters always change costumes from movie to movie to movie. The reason that Sam Wilson's fucking Captain America suit is changed 3 times in the 3 years he's been Captain America is because they have to sell the next one.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
It could. That's a good point. I had never thought about that. It's these little character things where Rennie and Sean clearly have they're sweet on each other, or maybe they were dating, but she's kind of been away. She wasn't allowed to go on this trip. She wasn't supposed to. And Sean gives her a necklace here of the Statue of Liberty to kind of, commemorate where they're going.
Yeah.
I don't know how he has a necklace of the Statue of Liberty, having not been there yet.
Right. He ordered it on Temu.
Oh, yeah.
That's why every time you and I are about to go to Universal, I give you like a Universal pendant or something.
Oh.
It's like, I want you to have something for the place we're about to go, but I want to take your agency away so that you can't pick out your souvenir. I already did it for you.
That's really sweet of you.
It's actually kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Now that I think about it. I'm going to throw them all away.
What? My treasures.
But then we follow that up immediately with Rennie and her uncle Charles, because he does not approve of Sean for whatever reason.
Sure.
And so they talk about her being there and that she's, facing her fears about something that she doesn't remember.
You're right.
But she is phobic of the water. And from something traumatic that has happened that we don't get until the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Man, let me tell you, that payoff, weak as shit. It's the stupidest reveal I've ever. Mark my words. We're going to get to this in a little while. You mark my words, audience. This is the stupidest thing you're ever going to hear.
But then we're introduced to the only character that I kind of like, who is JJ, who is a rock and roll chick, and Wayne, the video camera guy. And she wants him to shoot a music video while on this ship.
Nothing says rock and roll like a cheap as shit luxury cruise that's clearly being taken on like a shipping vessel.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. They try to pass off this boat as like a Starlight cruise, and it's like dirty and old, and it's like, I don't know if it's because the film budget couldn't pay for a decent cruise ship, or if it's written this way to be like, oh yeah, this is a cruise ship, but like it is dreadful.
Yes. And the way that they have to dress up certain parts of the set to try and make it look fancier than what it is pretty amazing. But JJ Jarrett is her name, and she is played by Saffron Henderson. She was in The Fly 2 in 89. She basically has more or less a cameo appearance replacing Gina Davis from the first film. I've never seen The Fly 2, but I assume the beginning of that is her giving birth to the fly baby.
Superfly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But JJ Jarrett is most well known as a voice actor. And she is probably most famous for doing the voice of Kid Goku in Dragon Ball.
What?
Kid Gohan in Dragon Ball Z.
What?
And then she did voices in Inuyasha, Mobile Suit Gundam, and Death Note, among a bunch of other things.
Damn. Those are classics.
Yeah, pretty cool. Wayne Weber is played by Martin Cummins. He was in The Omen 4, The Awakening, in 91. He was in, apparently there was a Poltergeist, The Legacy, which was a TV show. He's in all 87 episodes of that. And then he was in a horror film from 2005 called Devour, which also starred Jensen Ackles.
Oh, okay.
But basically JJ is, wanting to do this music video, and Wayne is like, yeah, we'll get to that, but I have to go do this thing first for Tamara.
Yeah, and then it's like why are you helping her? And it's clearly to me it's setting up the
love triangle.
Like, yeah, I'm the tomboy, but maybe you should be interested in me. And he's like, I only got eyes for the blonde. But that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, but she's really fucking. I think he even says like, yeah, but she's really sexy or something. Like she got titties or something. And then he walks away.
Yeah. And so she instead goes down into like the mechanical power room.
But again, from a narrative perspective, you have a character who's like, hey, come down with me. I want to shoot a music video in like the bowels of the ship, like the workings of the engine. And he's like, well, no, I got to go try to shoot my shot with this slut. And she's like, okay, well, I'll just go down there and do it anyway. She doesn't have a camera.
Yeah.
So what is she doing?
She just goes down there to rock out,
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense for her to do that, other than to separate her from the rest of them so that Jason can go and do our first, well, not even our first, but our first on this ship kill.
Yeah, which very basically, she's playing a song. Jason walks down steps
Very
to
slowly.
confront her, which confuses me because he's walking down steps that are basked in sunlight. So is he just on the middle of the deck walking down the stairs and no one in broad daylight? It was packed. The deck was packed.
Mhm.
Is no one like,
Yeah, they're playing like shuffleboard.
right? Is no one like, hey, who's that hulking wet corpse? Oh, and Jason is soaked the entire movie, by the way.
Yeah.
He's slimy and he is soaking wet.
Yeah, he's been down on the bottom of that lake for like a year.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If I took a t-shirt and I put it in the bottom of a lake for a
Right,
year,
right.
and assuming that it held up, and then I took the shirt out of the lake a year later and I set it in the sun, how long would you say it would take to dry?
This movie runs about 100 minutes, so at least 100 minutes.
Correct. Just like those characters. You got it right. But yeah, he walks down and she's like, oh my God. And he wrestles the guitar out of her hand.
And then she runs down to a lower level, and then when she rounds the corner, he is there and then kills her with the guitar. So begins the Jason can just teleport in this movie.
Which movies have done in the past. Famously, Michael Myers just seemingly
Seemingly,
be wherever. Right. And it's hard to track his movements because he moves very quickly and at points where he maybe shouldn't be able to.
Mhm.
Jason's never really done that. He like bursts into rooms that you can kind of, it makes a little bit more sense.
Right.
This is strange.
This is, I mean, literally, he just teleports to places.
I would rather have him and like, because he moves very slowly, but I would rather like she runs down and rounds the corner and he slams because he jumped from
Yes.
one to the other.
Yes.
That's more Jason.
Mhm.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. He swings the guitar like a baseball bat and we don't see it connect.
No, because it's almost like they have a pane of glass in front of the camera and it smashes that glass as if he's hitting her.
To make the poster.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all this is.
And we see the aftermath of this, but it's much later in the film. And then we cut to our lead, Rennie, who is in her room getting changed. This is the start of just like shots of Jason just kind of like meandering and stalking around the boat.
Yeah, which I think is why we're going to cut around a lot in this review, because I've been thinking about talking about this movie. And it's a lot of like Rennie goes into her room, has visions through the porthole of her room of Jason as a youth, like a young man drowning to death. And he progressively becomes more and more like the Jason we've seen. He
Right.
like more disfigured, more mutated. And it just kind of happens throughout. But it's stupid and it wastes our time every time because it's like, oh, well, in the last one we had a telekinetic girl, but what if this one had like visions? And it's like,
Right.
what does that do for the movie or the plot or the series? What does it move forward at all? No, nothing. It's useless.
Yeah, because we don't know until, I mean, it's supposed to be the big reveal at the end of like that he is the cause of her terror in a way. But
Just
like,
what happened? You know what happened? These movies used to have final girls that had big bazongas.
that's mainly what they had.
And they would run around and they go, no, and then he'd stab them. And in these, it's like, oh, I have a harrowing past and visions of a killer. And then I was like, shut up. This is not what this movie is about.
It's that thing of like, in those moments, it feels like the franchise is trying to evolve into something else, but then the rest of the movie doesn't follow suit.
Right. But the other thing is like, first of all, every single one of these franchises devolves. All of them. Some of them pick back up speed. Some of them, some of them come
Jason
back to
X,
life.
I know.
Yeah. Some of them come back to life. A lot of them don't. And it's like, yeah, you can try to evolve. Stop getting art house with your fucking Friday the 13th movies. It's like the sixth one knew exactly what to do. It knew exactly what the series is. It knew what to spend time on. And it was perfect. It knew exactly what to do. The last one, kind of
Approaching
weird. It's weird. This one does both. This one's like, yeah, we're going to have a bunch of characters that nobody gives a shit about. And it's going to be like really embarrassing, but like, we're going to make it like about emotional trauma. And it's going to be really like heady and she's going to have visions and stuff. And it's like, if you cut all of that out, you could have spent more time in New York. Did you know that?
that costs way too much money.
Okay, sorry. You could have spent more time in Vancouver with I Heart New York stickers.
Yeah. Just throw them up all over the place.
Just throw this movie in the trash.
But yeah, she sees this vision, and Toby also apparently sees the vision.
Yeah, or like maybe he reacts to her fear is
Maybe,
the only way
okay.
that I could describe it. But yeah,
Because then
like,
he
is looking at
Scooby-Doo bolts out of the room.
Ruh-roh, Rennie. Race and Rory's.
But then, like, because she spends like a while for the rest of this movie searching for the dog.
I just assumed Michael had gotten him.
Yeah. You have to until he shows up in that rowboat later on.
Yeah.
You're like, was he in the rowboat the whole time?
Did he dive out of the water like a dolphin? He just landed in the boat. She's like, oh, Toby, thank God I forgot about you.
Yeah.
And we're all like, we did too.
We didn't even know you had a name.
We thought your name was Dog.
But Walker is happy with this next scene because this is where we're introduced to Tamara and Eva as they spy on Julius, who is boxing.
Yeah.
Now,
This goes nowhere.
Yeah.
None of this matters. There's a boxing ring, I guess, in the cruise ship that has a skylight that you can peer down into from the deck of the ship.
yeah.
And so these two girls are looking, and then the guys look up and they're like, hey, look at those ladies. And the ladies are like, hey, look at those boys. And then the fight ends, and the girls are like, let's go to the storage cabin and do cocaine.
Yes.
And it's,
As one does.
but it's not. That's not even really like a paraphrase. It's
No.
like that's more or less like, hey, let's go have some fun.
Yeah.
And then it like the next time we see them, they are in like the luggage room doing coke off a little mirror.
Mhm.
She's got like a little bag, like a little, I don't know what you call that, like a smack bag or
Yeah.
something.
I think that's what it's called.
Shit.
It was written right on the side.
We're gonna when we finally do that thing where we have our merch and like do a website or whatever, we should have a third channel smack bag.
That's
A
good.
little mirror.
Good. Tamara Mason is played by Charlene Martin. She was in Possession, a horror film from 1987. She was in Breaking Point, a thriller from 94, and then did sporadic TV work, but she didn't have her name on a lot of things that I found. And then Eva Watanabe is played by Kelly Hu, who I mentioned before. She was in The Doors, the 1991 biopic about The Doors
With Val
starring Val
Kilmer?
Kilmer.
Yeah.
And then she was in The Scorpion King in 2002.
Oh, weird.
I think her character's name was Cassandra, but that's directed by Chuck Russell, who did Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
She is also, this is where you know her from.
Oh no, Chuck Russell did Scorpion King.
Yeah.
Okay, where do I know her from? Sorry.
She is in X2, X-Men United as Lady Deathstrike.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so young here.
Mhm. This is her first film role. Rennie first is like looking for the dog and catches them doing cocaine.
And they're like, what? And she's like, you see my dog? And they're like, no, get lost. And she's like, okay.
And
why do you have the scene?
It's yeah, basically it's Tamara is very much like your favorite character from the New Blood.
Don't you fucking dare.
I'm just saying
Melissa is evil.
Yeah.
This bitch is boring.
She's like wannabe evil.
Not even.
She pushes Rennie off the ship. That could have killed her. She could have literally murdered her.
Yeah. She just doesn't have the same savoir-faire.
No, it's not the same in that way. I just mean like if we were like comparing the movies and characters from them, that's the closest we get.
All right. Fair enough.
Is like bad girl.
I
Mean
think the
girl.
word for that is like bitch.
Yeah, could be.
She's like the bitchy, like. But that's the thing is, this chick is just a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa served. You understand? She commanded the room. People wanted to be her. They wanted to be her with her new pearl necklace. Or anyway, please continue.
And then after Rennie leaves, McCulloch comes in, catching them doing the cocaine, and
Like catching them. The mirror with cocaine on it shatters on the ground out of surprise. And he goes, what are you guys doing? And it's Tamara goes, nothing. And it's like, you could have said anything else. Anything else. We wanted to explore. It's just nothing. And then the other one goes, Lady Deathstrike goes, we were just exploring the ship. And it's like, you're caught.
Yeah.
You're caught. White nosed.
yeah. And it's, I don't know if we've already gotten this, but we get him saying to Tamara of like, you need to turn in your biology report. I expect your final paper or whatever, because otherwise I will not allow you off the ship to go explore New York with all of your friends.
Which, why the fuck would that be the thing? You let her on the ship.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's got to be ticketed, right? So, like, you let this chick buy a ticket, let her on the ship, and then you're like, oh, by the way, if you don't spend your time on this vacation surrounded by your friends doing your biology project and turn it into me right now with zero supplies or resources at all to do that project, you don't get to leave this ship.
See, I feel like it's just one of those things of like, she is not a great student.
Sure.
And so he's like, look, you're going to graduate, but you have to turn in your final. And the last time I will take it is on that ship. So bring it with you. It should already be done.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it.
Sure.
Because it's like, did you ever have those people
No. I dropped out.
Oh, right.
I dropped out in the 6th grade.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that explains a lot, audience, doesn't it?
That's why he's the newbie.
No,
Huh?
that's a lack of watching movies.
Okay. But he's like, yeah, I will see you in your room later.
Yeah.
And then we move to the sauna where we get a quick thing where the boxer that Julius was fighting,
Who I don't think is named.
I don't know
out
his
loud.
name. I do not.
But Jason walks in, picks up one of the hot stones from the sauna, and then punches it through his guts,
Yeah.
like his stomach.
Yeah.
And then he leaves.
Mm-hmm. It's just one of the many shots of just Jason kind of wandering around, killing somebody, and then.
And I tell you what, I would have loved this if you had spent more time doing the kill,
Mhm.
the thing the movie is for.
Yeah.
The vehicle that this movie serves the purpose of is to kill.
What if you just had the camera like way back in the corner of the room looking at Jason's back over the guy? What if you just shot it that way?
That's bad.
Is that interesting?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like the thing is they try to do the quick cut stuff that they did in like 2, 3, 4, that
Mhm.
era. The problem is that the reason in 4, when we see Jim, Crispin Glover's character, get killed, the reason that that's so effective is because we see the fucking machete enter his face. We see the physical reaction and we see blood pour down his face, and then you cut away very quickly.
Mhm.
This is like if we saw the machete almost get to his face and then you cut away. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, you can assume this is what happened. And it's like, yeah, but if the movie is nothing but that, then it's annoying.
Yeah. Tamara believing that Rennie ratted them out, which is why McCulloch came to find them doing
Mhm.
cocaine. They go up on deck and she knocks Rennie overboard.
She's like, oops.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Which obviously means that it's an accident.
No.
Oh.
No.
You think
could-
you think she did that on
I think she
purpose?
lied about the oops.
Oh, okay.
I think she meant to do it.
Wow. That's probably illegal. And then the teacher, Miss Van Dusen, throws a life preserver down because little did we all know, but Rennie apparently cannot swim.
She's also wearing a 400-pound tweed jacket.
Yeah.
She looks like Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I'm so attracted to her.
Oh, you're a Dreyfus guy?
Yeah, yeah.
Richard?
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah.
But she begins being like pulled under the water, and she has another vision of Jason, kid Jason, pulling her down.
Right.
And like you said, he's a little different looking, a little more every time.
And now he's like a one-eyed, one-horned child. I'm not doing the rhyme.
Oh, okay, good. But then Sean dives in to save her, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just a point of action to show us that she can't swim. She
Right.
has a fear of the water.
Right.
That we already knew. And then after Sean jumps in to save her, when McCulloch comes in, is just like, stay away from her. You should all just stay away from her. All you people who are trying to help her. Because he's awful through the entire movie.
It's like he's a day late and $1 short to being a parent every second of the day.
Mhm.
Like,
Yes, he
everybody
is.
stay away from her. It's like, well, we just saved her. Where were you? And he was like, I was stopping children from doing cocaine on a ship. So, and they're like, oh shit, no, that is important.
Now I'm going to go make out with one of my students.
And they go, hold on. What?
But Rennie goes to wash up and like she's washing her hands in the sink and blood comes out. And then
Very nightmare.
yes.
This is very nightmare. She goes to wash her hands. Blood is pouring out of the faucet. She looks up and in the mirror, there's swimming Jason again.
Yeah. And there is like one cool shot of like the actual hand coming out of the mirror to like strangle her. And then because it's kind of like in Prince of Darkness, like reaching into the other dimension or whatever through the mirror. And but then it immediately is like the glass or the liquid glass is gone. And then it's just a kid in some like not great makeup, just kind of there.
Yeah.
And like a fog machine.
Yeah. It looks like Halloween Town.
Yeah.
Where the evil guy is like, his cloak is blowing, but it's just like a black background. And he's like, it's like, oh, okay.
That's spooky.
It's the scariest.
But yeah, Mr. McCulloch goes to Tamara's room to get the project from her. And she is like wearing like basically a kimono, a robe of some kind. And she's trying to seduce him.
In the beginning of this scene, it feels like, and maybe I'm reading into this wrong, but it feels like in the beginning of the scene, like this has happened before.
Okay.
His reaction to it isn't shocked or reviled. It's more like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And
his reaction is odd because
it's more exhausted than it is, or like annoyed than it is like, oh, you're trying to make me commit a felony.
Yes.
You're a child and you're trying to have sexual action with me.
Yeah. Because that's it. It's like there are things that he could do. There are reactions that he could take that would be like, as soon as she started disrobing or anything, of just like, nope, and leave the room. Just like, I don't care what's going on in here. I don't want any part of it.
He could have turned in and he could have gone, Jason, there's a kid trying to have sex in here. Jason would have come in and be like, not on my watch.
Premarital.
Tear her arms off or some crazy shit. Yeah, she throws him. She reveals her biology project is that she has very poorly drawn, like, I think what it's supposed to be is like an anatomy chart where you see the human body and it's kind of transparent and you can see all the organs and they're all labeled. Is that what she was trying to do?
Yeah, I think so.
Because she's got two things labeled. Stomach, heart.
Yeah.
And then she's in a bra and panties. And that's what it is. And she's like, this is my biology I'm the biology project. Do you like it? And he's like, where'd you get the champagne from? That's the only question he asks, by the way. She hands him a flute of champagne and he's like, where'd you get this? She's like, I brought it from home. And he's like, all right. But yeah. Then she like smooches him in the mouth and like throws herself onto him on the bed. Then it's revealed that, what is it, Gary?
Wayne.
Weird. In Kimmy Schmidt, John Hamm's character is named Reverend Richard Wayne Gary Wayne.
That's really weird.
I know. Which is funny. He comes in with the camcorder and he's like, we got him. And it's like, this was the plan?
Yeah.
Because how did you know that's when he was going to come in there?
He's always lurking.
Because she was like, don't worry. I've got, like, she even says to Ava, she's like, don't worry. I got McCulloch. I got that shit. So it's like, she's planning, like, I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to spend time doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's like, I'll punish you for this. And then he leaves.
Yeah, pretty much. Because they have a videotape of.
Why doesn't he grab the camera?
I don't know. Because
he's like a tall guy. Grab the camera.
Well, Wayne takes the tape out and tosses it over to
Catch
Tamara. No, he's too slow.
Go over there and punch her and take the tape.
Well, no, because then he'd be in trouble for punching.
He's already in trouble. She grinded herself onto himself. Punch her. Take the tape. Throw it out the window into the ocean.
Yeah.
Listen, you've left the lake. You're in the ocean. They connected.
International waters. Anything's legal, right?
So then what does he care?
Yeah.
He should have banged Tamara because
no, he should not have.
Why? It's international. You just said crime is fine out there. Release the list.
Please.
Just do it. Just do it. Unless you can't. And
Yeah.
if you can't, there's a reason. It's because you're on it. Anyway. My colleague is on the list. But they're like, all right, we're leaving Crystal Lake. We're going to go to Manhattan, but we do have to make a quick stop. They're like, where? McCulloch's like, I left some stuff on this island.
With my old pal Donnie.
I guess I gotta go meet the future president.
Oh my God. But Wayne, he shoots his shot.
Yeah, he does. It's super sad. He's like, "Hey, I've always had the hots for you," and she's like, "That's really nice. I have to. You gotta go.
You gotta get out of here, man.
She's like, "I'm busy." Fucking leave. So he's like, "Oh man," he just fucks off.
Yeah,
because she's like, "No thanks." And so she, after he closes the door, she goes and she's like, "Well, I guess I better shower this biology project off."
I guess that's what she's doing. Yeah.
So she goes in because she definitely failed biology, by the way.
You think?
Let's be crystal clear.
Did you see the report?
Her project is terrible. There's no proof of it at all. And then she tried to rape her teacher. So like there's
Yeah.
shit, maybe she's on the list.
Probably.
She's the rapey one.
Probably is.
She goes to take a shower. And
when she gets out of the shower,
yeah,
she like it's this thing of we have a little bit of nudity in this movie, which is like what this franchise is known for, but like not a whole lot of it. She gets out and like puts the towel around, but we never really see anything there.
Yeah.
And then she goes to open the door, and at the same time Jason is coming into her cabin. And so then she just like closes the door, and she, I mean, has no point of reference of who or what this is.
It is a giant hulking man whose skin is obviously rotten, wearing a fucking mask.
And he's wet.
Soaked. He is as wet as
she is, having just gotten out of the shower.
Or whatever body of water they're in.
Oh, yeah.
Possible to know. But she like closes the door, and she's like patiently waiting. And there was a moment where I was like, oh, maybe he doesn't realize that she's in there, because she does. She closes it very quietly. She handles this very well. And then Jason smashes through the door with his fists like it's made of paper, smashing a glass mirror.
Yeah, she like stumbles across the room and like hits the mirror and falls on the ground. And then it makes me laugh every time I see it, because he bursts into the bathroom then and just punches out the rest of the glass in that mirror. And he then uses it as a weapon, but in the brief moment before he actually picks up the glass, it just looks like he's just pissed and he just punches the mirror.
So it's that. The other thing that I thought it was is it's like a dog seeing his reflection. Get the fuck out of here. But my favorite,
maybe it's because of like the whole Dream Master rhyme, and he was like, oh, if I see my reflection, all these hands are gonna come out of me and
I'm fucked. So he smashes. Yeah, okay, maybe, because there's a lot of mirrors. Oh, he smashes a mirror later on in the Big Apple. The thing that makes me laugh about this every time is that he then kind of like rifles through the glass pieces, to find the best one, and he does. He finds a giant shard of glass, and he doesn't do anything interesting with it at all.
What? We don't get to see it penetrate her at all?
No, not at all. We don't see her get really injured at all.
Oh. But then we move to the bridge.
Yes.
And the captain is up there with his first mate.
He's drunk. Iceberg's on its way.
We assume. There is a lot of things in this movie that I really think Jim Cameron ripped off for Titanic. Because you get like this scene here where you're in the bridge with the captain.
Yeah.
You get when Eva is running from Jason later on. She runs down like the master staircase. It's lovely. She goes into the ballroom. And then there's a scene when the ship is like taking on water, and Sean and Rennie are in the lower decks kind of looking around, and then like one of the bulkheads bursts open and water rushes in and they have to run from that.
Oh yeah.
What I'm saying is that Jim Cameron is a hack fraud.
I believe you.
But the captain and the first mate are hanging out, and the captain goes to do something, and Jason picks up a big harpoon off the wall silently. He does a lot of silent stalking around in this one.
Yeah.
And if he's not doing that, then he's teleporting.
Yeah.
And he sneaks up behind the first mate, and he stabs him in the back But
and he goes, ugh.
the angle, it looks like he's stabbing him in the butt. Because the camera's like outside of the bridge looking in.
I can see that.
And it's just the way that the angle works. Because you don't ever see, there is a shot where you actually see the penetration into his back.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that. So it's just just pokes him.
Maybe it was not for pain, but for pleasure.
Oh.
He was like, let me teach you the ways of butt stuff. And he harpooned him in the ass. Anyway, then the captain shows up.
And seeing his first mate,
Harpooned in the ass.
Jason sneaks up behind him
And harpoons him in the ass.
yes.
It's the rest of the movie. Everyone dies by getting a harpoon in the ass.
Is it the same harpoon
No,
or does
no.
he have a bunch of them?
No, because it was a whaling vessel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's why it's so old. It's a mid-1800s whale oil vessel. Jason's just sneaking around with harpoons, shoving them up people's asses, and they go, ooh, and then they die.
Would that be a better film?
Yes. Infinitely. And then he gets to Manhattan. He goes to a whalery, whatever those are called. He buys 1 million harpoons with all of his gold that he found on the ship. And then he harpoons everyone in New York in the ass.
Wow. And then, like, I that makes me like. I figure he then gets back on the ship and he begins hunting pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see a movie.
The Black Pearl versus the Lazarus.
But yeah, he slits the captain's throat.
One of the very few kills in the movie that we don't really cut away from, but it's also bloodless.
Yeah, it's a really simple effect, and yeah, it's also in slow motion for no apparent reason.
But like really slow motion.
Yeah, the choppy slow motion that this franchise is known for.
Oh, right.
Rennie and Sean find the captain's body leaned up against the wheel.
Yeah.
And Sean's like, "Dad, are you
Daddy?
And then he collapses, and then
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
And so Sean has to then take over kind of as, in control of the ship. He alerts everyone. He radios the Coast Guard. And then Jason conveniently, because he knows that he was making the call right then. He yanks the cables out of the radio antenna.
I am willing to suspend my disbelief that Jason knows how to pull phone lines off a cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. He grew up in the woods, I guess. He knows what phone lines look like. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
To know where the radio antenna is on a boat and know what cable to pull off of it, that's wild. That's stupid. Doesn't make any sense. Why do all this on a boat?
We got to get to Manhattan somehow. What if they'd put him on a plane?
I just think it would have made nope.
Okay.
Nope. I'm not going to rewrite the movie.
That's good
Because fighting my old habit.
They die hard. This is where the deckhand explains to everybody, because they all kind of converge in, at the bridge and are trying to figure out what to do. Rennie goes down and tries to drop the anchor, but her Uncle Charles stops her. And he is very much of like, you shouldn't be listening to Sean. You should be listening to me. It's like, well, why?
Right.
Because you're
a biology teacher?
Yeah. Like Sean, his father was the captain of this ship.
Yeah.
His father was trying to pass the torch to Sean, his son.
Right.
And so it's like he must have some understanding of something.
Yeah.
To do with ships that you wouldn't.
He's also reading charts and shit and like steering the ship.
He just hates him for he's not good enough for his niece daughter.
But is that like a weird, creepy sex pervert thing? Or is that like a weird, possessive, abusive thing? Because it kind of reads as both.
Yeah, it could. I mean, we don't ever get any necessary, we don't know that there was any sort of molesty thing happening here.
No, there is abuse revealed later
Yes.
on, but I don't know. Maybe it is just the Tamara of it all makes it feel like he's kind of a sex pest.
Yeah.
Granted.
So was she. Eva finds Tamara's body.
Yeah.
And she's been stabbed by many shard of glass.
Yes, I'm super excited for this because we get to my least favorite set piece. So Jason finds her finding Tamara.
Oh, and that's one of my favorite shots is she runs out of Tamara's room and sees Jason at the end of this hall. And Kane Hodder is as big as this hall in the boat.
There is no empty space in the shot. He fills the entire hallway. And you can tell that, like, if the mask if he made noise at all, it would just be like, and he's just glaring through this mask. And she's like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. And she turns and she's running. And he is just stomping after her. One of the things that I don't like about the sound design in most of these movies is the footfalls. If they're carpeted, you just don't have any.
Right.
But it's like they really just do like every time he takes a step, and it's powerful. It's when it's metal, it's the metal grate sounds. In Manhattan, it's like boot scrapes against concrete.
Yeah.
But like they give him a weight in the sound design of this movie, which I enjoy. But he stomps after her and she runs around and eventually she ends up in like the dance hall.
I guess, yeah.
It is this bizarre room. It is like a circular room surrounded by mirrors and like party decorations for their graduation.
Trussing with lights.
It's like a prom thing, but in the center of this circular room is a circular stage.
Yeah.
But it's like butted up against the wall. But the stage is like 2 steps up. And so the ceiling is like if you're up there and you're dancing and you're like taller than 5'10", you're smashing your fucking head into that ceiling. It is wild how short this room is.
There is a disco ball in the middle of the dance floor that is at head height.
Yeah. Yeah. People are using it to check to see if they have shit in their teeth. Yeah. But yeah, Jason grabs her.
Yeah, but this is where like the teleportation thing is going because she runs into the room and then like she stops and turns and then he's there and then she does like a 90-degree angle and then he's there and then another 90-degree angle and he's there and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, this one I don't take as teleporting. This one, because of all the mirrors, I take it as she is losing track of where he is and what his reflection is.
Okay,
but I can see it being teleporting.
Yeah.
Either way,
that's where it like this is where it really jumps out at me as that of like is that how we're supposed to take it? But I like the mirror idea.
Yeah, but then again, nothing fascinating.
No, he strangles her.
Yeah, just picks her up off the ground and holds her in the air and strangles her. And then William Stryker finds her corpse and brings it further north into Canada, where he sticks it into an adamantium bonding tank, giving her regenerative healing factors from Logan Howlett's DNA, also known as the Wolverine. And she then becomes the Weapon X assassin known as Lady Deathstrike. That's how these two things fit because they are heading towards Canada. They say New York, but it's Canada.
Did you call me Blob? Julius, who was our boxer from earlier, he is like trying to take control of the situation. He gathers everything that could possibly be a weapon, including like 2 shotguns that are on the ship. Yeah, and he holds that shotgun like a gorilla holds a human baby. It's like, I have an idea of what to do with this, but I'm not built for this. Like he holds it out and he holds the gun so weird. Yeah. He's also terrible. Yeah, he's not great. Julius Gaw is played by V.C. Dupree. He was an American Drive-In, a 85 comedy. He's in an episode of Freddy's Nightmares, and then he was in a crime drama called South Central from 1992. But Wayne, the video camera guy, he goes downstairs. This is where he goes down and stumbles upon JJ's body. Yes. And like the Kings of Leon song, because of his run-in with the girl he, quote, has the hots for, Tamara, his sex is on fire. Oh. And then Jason picks him up. This is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. This was something that I made you stop, rewind, and play again twice because it's so fucking funny. Jason picks him up, throws him onto like a control panel of electronics, whatever fucking USS Enterprise bay of electronics. We're not boat guys. We don't know how this works. No. Jason throws this kid onto that control panel and it is supposed to explode into fire.
But the first thing that goes up in flames is obviously his crotch.
Yeah.
It is his crotch for like a solid second, and then everything else bursts into flames.
Do you think it's because Wayne is like a liar?
Derek, do you recommend this movie? It is crazy. My assumption is that where the pyrotechnic, because like my assumption is it's a stunt performer doing a fire stunt.
Mm-hmm.
There is like a whatever lighter fluid, some sort of
Accelerant.
Yeah, on him. And then a spark to set him on fire when he lands on the thing. And I think it went off right at his crotch.
Yeah.
So that's where it went off first. But it, honest to God, looks like he falls onto the table and then his dick bursts into flames and burns the rest of him away. Oh, that's the other thing. JJ, he swings the guitar at her in the beginning of the movie to kill her. When we see her, she's got like a giant hole in her head.
Yeah.
Like he stabbed her with it. I don't know.
It doesn't really make sense for the swing that we see earlier.
It's lazy.
Yeah, that's what this movie is.
It's lazy, man. That's why his dick caught on fire. Because they're like, oh shit, well, it was just his dick for like a whole second. Should we just reset? And they're like, no, that's expensive. He'll just be he'll be pants on fire. That's fine. That was a good joke though. I reacted like I didn't think it was. I was just jealous.
Well, thank you for admitting that.
Yeah, because I did the Kings of Leon route, which was like, what the fuck?
McCulloch has locked Rennie in her room.
Yeah.
And he continues to like belittle Sean for not knowing how to work the ship. And
he yells at Julius and he's like, I am in charge here. And Julius is holding a gun. And he's like, the fuck are you talking about? You're a teacher. Shut up. Everybody come help me find this guy. And they all leave.
And McCulloch thinks that it's the deckhand trying to, because the fire is spreading. And I think it's supposed to be a joke because Jason like looks down at this little like in case of fire break. And then it cuts back to them arguing. And then it cuts back down to him and he punches it and it sets the fire alarm off. Mm-hmm. And it's whatever. It's a joke or whatever. Sure. But McCulloch thinks that like all of this, the fire alarm going off, he's like, how do we even know there actually is a fire? And so he thinks that it's like the deckhand trying to scare everyone into believing that Jason is back and on the ship.
Right.
So then he goes to hunt down the deckhand.
Right.
The crazy Ralph stand-in.
Yeah.
Like, all right. You always have a character in these movies who doesn't believe.
Yeah, it is the only thing that makes both the Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Street franchises operate is that there has to be somebody, an authority figure, who just simply refuses to accept the obvious shit going on around them.
Yeah, it's a good point. We get another guy in Julius's group who I do not think is ever named.
Probably not.
But he's walking around with a fire axe.
I'm totally going to find him for the quiz next week.
And then Jason just steps into frame.
Yeah.
And he swings the fire axe at him. And I'm just going to say, Kane just catches it and throws the axe out of frame.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
And then we get like the kid, I think they mentioned earlier, or maybe this is a cutscene as well for whatever, is that he's a diver. And so he very quickly like climbs up the mast. And it's storming, the boat is rocking and everything. And then he like looks down and Jason is just all of a sudden right behind him on the ladder and grabs him.
Yeah.
And tosses his body down and it smashes onto the...
Yeah, I think it's the radar or like the radio antenna.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's just like stuck on it sideways.
And then Julius is then stalking around with a shotgun and he finds that guy's body and Jason grabs him and throws Julius overboard. Mm-hmm. And I had forgotten because it's been a while since, you know, we had watched it before. And I was like, I know Julius is in later scenes. Like, what happens here? How does he come back? But we get there.
He's saved.
Do you think Toby saved him?
Yeah. As Toby was down there with Jason Momoa and the whole gang and they saved him.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good for Julius. Rennie, locked in her room, has another vision of young Jason, but he just kind of like appears in the corner of the room, and he's like covered in like green slime for whatever reason.
Sure.
And then Jason smashes through the porthole and begins strangling her. And so she picks up the Stephen King pen and stabs Jason in the eye.
Do you think that's supposed to... Is that supposed to mean something?
Like the pen is mightier than the sword?
Well, no, because they specifically name drop Stephen King.
I think it's just he's a spooky writer.
Yeah.
We're making a spooky movie.
It's not supposed to be like heady. What I took from it is that Stephen King writes really heady stories that are like, yes, it's horror, but it's horror with like a human narrative that's kind of weaved through whatever. And I think what it's supposed to be is like the writer and the director, like the idea of this is, well, we're using the pen of somebody who writes real stories, and we're using a real story to gouge our way into the schlock of Jason, and we're gonna elevate it. Look what we're doing. We're taking an elevated author's pen and we're gonna stick Jason with it, and then we're gonna tell a real story about his past. That's what I took from it, because I hate this fucking movie and I'm angry about it.
A lot of times I have little asides like that, and you're like, no, you're putting way too much thought into this thing that clearly they did not.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club, man.
Hey, thanks, buddy. It feels good.
But Sean like bursts into the room to get her out, and the fire keeps spreading, and like there's an explosion in the power room or whatever. And so this is where they go searching the lower decks, and the ship is taking on water at this point. And whenever they make it back up, they catch up with Miss Van Dusen, who is basically like, she's in this movie to pop in about 4 times and do nothing.
Yeah.
She achieves nothing with her role.
Nothing. I don't even know why she's there.
They needed another adult, but then she doesn't do anything because McCulloch is just as awful to her as he is to Sean this whole time.
Yeah.
Anytime she pops in and tries to help Rennie in any way, he's just like, no, you need to stay away from her.
He's also, at one point, I forgot to mention this, at one point McCulloch tells Sean, or like, where do you have the boat going in the right direction? And somebody's like, can you ease off of this kid? His father just died. And he's like, well, his father was a captain. You think he would have taught him something.
Yeah.
And it's like, Sean is right there. He's right there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a caricature of an asshole, but in the beginning of the movie, the caricature of the asshole is believable, but by the end of it, it's like, no, nobody acts like that.
Yes. And there's the biggest example of that is once they reach the docks here in just a moment.
Yeah.
Because Miss Van Dusen has lowered the lifeboat. And so she, McCulloch, Rennie, Toby, who is now just randomly shown back up again, the dog, and Sean all climb down to get in. Sean sees Jason like standing at the top of the stairs, like on the ship, looking down at them. I think he's holding the fire axe in this moment. And then we get this camera POV, and I haven't mentioned it because I didn't take a ton of notes about it, but it happens like probably 2 or 3 other times in the movie where we get this like killer POV for a second, and then it's revealed to be not Jason. Because here again, we get the camera POV slowly approaching the boat from the water, and then Julius pops out, having somehow survived being tossed in and into the storm waters. But they pull him into the boat, and then they row the rest of the way to New York. And McCulloch this whole time is just giving him the worst shit about, not being able to navigate, not being able to save them, and it's just like, dude, he's doing more than you are. Like,
all you're doing is having sex with your previously living students.
Yeah.
Or not having sex with them, but not trying hard enough to get them off of you.
Yeah.
You creep.
But then once they reach the docks, this is where McCulloch, he's like, oh, what a wonderful place to dock a boat. And it's just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Is it not clean enough down here for you?
Well, what I will say is that they go into 89 Batman Gotham. It is because it's Vancouver, because it's sound stages, it is disgusting. It is like there are buckets of goo And it's like, I'm not even making that up. There
No.
are buckets of green goo, and there are cuss words, just random cuss words spray painted on the walls.
Yeah.
And then we meet them.
Yeah.
We meet the gang.
Yes. And just before that, like the remainder of our group hasn't even stepped off the dock yet, and Jason pops out of the water, which begs the question that I'm going to pose to you. How did he get there? Did he hold on to the bottom of the rowboat that they rowed the rest of the way to New York? Did he jump into the water and then sprint along the bottom, just so happened in the exact direction that they were going? How did he make it there at the same time that they did?
Probably held onto the rowboat.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess. That, or he leapt from the wreckage and went bloop, and splashed silently into the water right next to the rowboat, but we just didn't see that.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably it.
He jumped 4 miles.
And then whenever he climbs out, you get a moment that, people talk about a lot, where he looks up at this giant billboard of like a hockey, I guess a company that sells hockey equipment, because there's just a giant hockey mask, and he turns to look at the camera, and then we cut away from it. Again, it's just like these little jokes.
That's a funny bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
That, like, those feel like they would have been in Jason Lives. With like that, and then him punching the in case of fire thing, and like starting the fire alarm, but it's like too few and far between. Again,
this movie wants to do everything and nothing. It wants to be ingenuitive, it wants to be creative, but then it also wants to do the same old, and it does neither of them well, and it does both of them poorly, and there's just too much walking around.
Yeah.
The craziest fucking shit happens because they're on the dock and they run into like a street tough gang
of two people
who have a gun, and they are like, we're taking the woman, and it's Rennie. Like, one of them grabs her and like tears her Statue of Liberty necklace off, and is like,
and shoots at the dog.
Yeah.
He doesn't shoot the dog. For anyone,
No, but if you're confused about who the villain is, he tries to shoot the dog.
Yeah.
But then he grabs Rennie. He's like, don't follow us. If you follow us, we're going to fucking shoot her. And they run off. Yeah. And everyone else is like, what the fuck? Like, we've been in New York for 5 minutes. Where's Giuliani?
Yeah.
He's at the Four Seasons.
He was thought he was cleaning up these streets.
But, yeah, it's really gross. Trigger warning for sexual assault. The last one, nothing really happens, so I wasn't too worried about it with McCulloch and Tamara. But this one is pretty fucked. This one is at more or less at knife point. The leader of the two street toughs that live on a couch in an alley behind the building threatens to kill her unless she does what he wants. He's like on top of her, kind of pinned her onto the couch. And then they inject her with heroin, which is like fucking crazy to see in a movie. Here's my question to you. You asked me the question about the boat or whatever. The heroin that she's injected with, it's quite a bit of heroin.
Yeah.
She's injected with straight into the arm. She then proceeds to not have any effect from it except for a smidgen of wooziness.
Yeah.
She took an armful of heroin like a Capri Sun and then just walks around like nothing happened. So my question is it because A, that's not heroin, that's pee? Because it looks just like pee? Or B, is she also a heroin addict? So she's just super used to it. So this is like a walk in the park.
Yeah. I think it's probably more of B. Jason becomes the hero of the story.
He does. He does in a weird way. He's like, get off of her. He fucking grabs the guy, grabs the needle, and shoves the needle through his stomach.
Yeah. Then the other guy shows up and he's like, hey, what are you doing?
And then he shoots him 6 times.
6 times. I was hoping you clocked that, man.
Times.
Anytime anybody fires a gun, I have to count the rounds just in case.
Just in case.
Because we know 6 should be enough.
And 7, 8, 9. So he shoots him 6 times. And nothing happens to Jason because Jason's already dead.
But we move to your favorite sequence of the whole film.
We do.
Which is Julius, the boxer, has found a payphone, but Jason destroys the payphone.
Yeah.
So they end up on a roof together.
They just get up there.
It's romantic.
Yeah.
In a way.
I submitted to you that I thought it would be very funny instead of doing the clip that we did to just play the audio from this scene with zero explanation.
For 2 minutes straight.
Yeah. It is 2 minutes, 2 minutes plus. It's like 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Julius fights like boxes Jason on the roof from one end of the roof all the way to the other end. Just punch after punch after punch.
It's
after
at least
punch.
59 times.
Yeah. And he just punches him over and over and over again. And he wears himself out. Nothing happens to Jason. And then it's crazy because, this happened in the movie and it happened in real life for me. Where in New York, a man I deeply respect and love a great deal punched a man in the head so hard he knocked his block off.
Oh.
Jason here knocks Julius's block off and it goes sailing into the air and lands into a dumpster, much like my father in 2003 knocked Morgan Freeman's block right off his head because he snubbed us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's in, whatever that prison movie is. He thinks he's big shit, so he snubs us. What is it? No.
Shawshank Redemption?
Thank you. Yeah. I haven't seen that.
What? Yeah. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it is wild.
And you pointed out something that I think is important here, that it is wild because the entire scene plays with no score.
No score. It is just the sound of punches, sweating, and like, is that all you got? And then Jason kills him.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could have done this. Here's how I would have done it. First of all, music. I would have put score in it. Yeah, immediately. I would have put score in it. The other thing I would have done is I wouldn't have gone to the roof because that's stupid. That's a set piece you don't need. I would have shot it in New York with one of the 5 minutes that I have available to shoot in New York. I would have done it in New York. I would have had him throw 3 punches. One punch hits Jason. Next punch hits Jason. Third punch, Jason catches. He breaks his wrist backwards, and then he punches his head up and off. And you could do a funny thing like it goes up and lands into a manhole in the middle of the street in Times Square. That's what I would have done.
That's good. What's funny about this whole thing and like this scene in the dance hall is like those are kind of the holdovers from that idea originally of like we're going to go to a boxing match and we're going to go to clubs and we're going to go to a Broadway show. It's like they were like, oh, well, just, I don't know, have it kind of happen on the boat, I guess. And then this guy's a boxer, so he can just fight Jason.
But you could have done all of this stuff within the budget. You don't have to do it this way. You could go to a fucking community theater and cut to a marquee and then cut inside, have a community theater doing a play, have Rennie and Sean run across the stage and then be like, hey, what are you doing? And then Jason comes across the stage and it's like he chops somebody's head off. His head goes flying and he's holding it like the Hamlet skull. And then he just throws it into the crowd and keeps running. And then you go to a boxing ring. You don't need it to be Madison Square Garden. Cut to a fucking boxing ring marquee in New York and go live tonight, boxing, whatever. Do the same thing with a strip club. Have him just go through the sights in New York, but just that's the secret, guys. The shots aren't all in order. You can take a shot of outside and then go somewhere else and think it's the same, but it's not. The Always Sunny, Patty's Pub, that's not actually in Philadelphia. That's a soundstage in LA.
But then everybody catches up with a cop. And they get into a cop car where Jason has somehow conveniently placed
Julius's head.
Yeah. And then he murders a cop. So again, Jason becomes the hero of the story for this one moment.
Kills a cop in New York in the 80s.
And Rennie hops in the driver's seat and goes speeding down. And she just plows into Jason. And then she sees little kid Jason. And she pushes that like even harder to the floor and tries to kill this kid. And instead, maybe on the heroin. Maybe she's seeing a vision here, except she's been seeing visions the whole movie, so probably not. But
Or she's been on heroin the entire time.
That's
what I'm saying.
That makes more sense. Okay, you're right. But then she smashes into the wall, and the car bursts into flames, and they pull everybody out except
the
for
teacher.
the teacher, who has served again no purpose.
Also not shown burning.
No,
They
we
just,
couldn't.
they
afford
sent her
that.
home early. She was a bitch about the craft services, and they were like,
Yeah.
you know what? We're gonna burn your character in a car.
And she was like, "Well, I already put all the accelerant on my crotch. What am I gonna do about this?"
That's what starts the cop car fire. The cop car crashes. She accidentally sparks a lighter. Her fucking vagina bursts into flames, and the whole car goes up.
But then this is where Rennie sees a flaming puddle.
Yes.
And has a vision.
So this is the Nightmare on Elm Street sequence for me.
Yeah.
It's that in the sink. It's a puddle, and then the puddle starts to ripple like water, like waves on water. And then there is a rowboat in the puddle, and then the camera kind of pushes in, and that becomes the scene we're in. But that is super Nightmare on Elm Street-y.
Mhm.
Like very much so.
It's also one of the coolest shots in the whole movie.
Wasted because remember when I said that the revelation was going to be really stupid?
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's the revelation. McCulloch, when Rennie was a child, tried to teach her to swim by pushing her into Crystal Lake on a rowboat. He pushed her in. And then either Jason actually grabbed her and dragged her towards the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
or it was a vision and she started to drown because she couldn't swim.
Right.
Either way, McCulloch goes in and saves her. But then she goes, oh my God, I just remembered my repressed trauma. You did this to me. And McCulloch's like, yeah, but I saved you. And she's like, yeah, but you saved me from the drowning that you caused me to do. And I'm like, guys, you both suck.
Yeah.
Rennie, your problems aren't that big of a deal. Grow up. Deal with your problems. You're 18. God damn it. You almost drowned when you were a kid. Do you have any idea how many times I almost drowned when I was a kid? If my father wasn't knocking people's blocks off, he was drowning me in the tub. You understand? It was a part of growing up in the Minette household.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. We're learning a lot of things about ourselves in this show.
Yeah, I have back pain and I drowned a lot. I drowned, so I had back pain about it. But anyway, yes, that is the reveal. They're like, you know what? Fuck you. And they kind of, the
Storm
party
off,
kind of
yeah.
disperses, leaving McCulloch mostly alone.
And then Jason wakes back up.
Yeah, that's why I said mostly alone. And then in the funniest death in the whole movie, because like you want his death to be spectacular
Yes.
because he's such a piece of shit.
Yes.
But honestly, this is better.
Yeah, it's better than what happened to, the bad doctor in the last movie.
Yeah.
But still, I would love it to be worse. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, see, I like this.
Yeah.
Because he's garbage. He's a piece of shit.
Okay. Yeah.
Jason doesn't do anything extraordinary. Jason lifts him up bodily, flips him upside down so that he is head first towards the ground, and then shoves him into a barrel of green toxic waste. Like fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle goo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He just shoves him into it and spends this is my favorite part about this kill. It's probably the funniest part of the movie to me is he kind of shifts him around to get him more in there. And eventually he's just like, fuck it. And he kind of pushes him. So it's just a fucking head, torso, and arms are smashed in there. And his legs are just awkwardly flopped out. It's like, just the frustration that Kane puts into Jason's physicality in this movie. It's so fucking funny because so many times Jason's like, God damn it. You can see the
he just gets tired of having to do the thing.
Him punching the head off is just like, stop fucking hitting me. I'm just a boy.
But Jason catches up to Rennie and Sean and gives chase. They end up in the subway. They pull the emergency brake. He follows them outside of the subway car, and they throw him onto the third rail where he is electrocuted.
Not to be confused with the third channel.
Yeah. Close there. But little do they know, they keep forgetting the fact
that lightning is his power.
Exactly.
Which is stupid. Them doing this is stupid. It's just more time plotted out to do nothing.
Mm-hmm. But it gets them to Times Square because they think that they've now killed him.
Yeah.
And they go up to enjoy the sights.
Two things happen. Yeah, two things happen here that are funny. The first thing is she turns, like they're walking and they're like, it is kind of the thing of like, oh my God, yeah, we're experiencing a terrible situation right now, but look, we're in Times Square, and they like look around and it's like, wow. And then she looks at Jason, and he's just standing there, still soaked.
Mm-hmm.
And he's standing there and he's breathing, and it is the most intimidating, like, I will fucking ruin you. And she's like, Sean, and he turns around and they're like, oh fuck. And they start running again. Jason walks through, and the street gang, the toughs, the mohawked punks that we saw at the beginning of the movie during the narration, he walks past them, and for no reason at all, is fucking hysterical. For no reason at all, he kicks the fucking boombox that they're listening to music to, just shatters it.
Yeah.
Now, this is something I think the movie does well. And it's not, you can't credit the movie. You have to credit Kane. The movie, this is like peak Jason to me. The teleporty shit is whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care for any of that. It is the way that he maneuvers through the world of just pure, unmitigated rage is so fucking, it's not only is it like, you know, it's something we don't talk about very often, but it's badass. He's a badass.
Yeah.
He's cool. And it's like rule of cool applies to these characters. But not only that, it's like his life is fucking terrible. He is rotten and has spent years at the bottom of a lake.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't like this fucking music. And so he shatters the boombox. And the street toughs are like, hey, you motherfucker, we're going to cut you up. And then he just turns. And it is, honestly, I think this is funny.
Yeah.
He turns to them, lifts his mask up for a moment. They all scream in terror at his rotten face and run away. He pulls it back down, turns back to face where they were going, and just walks back off.
It's a good bit.
Yeah. They go through a diner in Times Square, which doesn't make any sense that would be there, but fine. And they're like, please call the police. There's a guy chasing me. And she's like, honey, hold on, let me think about cigarettes for a second. Honey, this is New York. There's always somebody trying to kill you, or whatever she says. And then weirdly, this is where we meet Kane Hodder's stunt double.
Yeah. Ken Kersinger. He plays like the diner cook who steps forward, and Jason promptly picks him up and throws him into the glass mirror behind the counter.
And this guy is huge.
He's the biggest man on the planet.
Yeah. He's got to be, like, without exaggeration, because Kane is tall.
Yeah.
Kane's like, what, 6'4"?
Something like that.
This guy has got to be like 6'6", 6'7". He's above Kane Hodder, like, to the point where he looks down into the eye holes.
And I love it because whenever he steps forward, there's this guy in like a leather getup, and he kind of gets up from the counter, and then that guy just shoves him out of the way to step to Jason. And then Jason picks him up and just
picks him up like by the neck and the waist and tosses him. He smashes into like the wall mirror, which is, again, the like third mirror that's broken.
Yeah.
But he smashes into the wall mirror and falls, and everyone's just looking, and Jason looks around kind of at all of them and then just walks away.
Yeah.
Still chasing our characters instead of butchering a diner full of people, which, again, I don't understand.
Yeah. The only place that they have left to go in New York, what are they known for? Their sewers.
Right.
And so they climb down there and they're running away.
Certainly not the Empire State Building.
No, that's far too expensive.
It's too high up.
Yeah.
Why does nobody ever go down?
I don't know.
So they do.
Yeah, we figured
They
it out.
break
right
the
here.
mold. They go down into the sewer.
They bump into a maintenance guy, and it's very lucky that they do.
Yeah, because he lets them know that they're just a few minutes away to midnight. And every day in New York City, at exactly midnight, the sewer is overrun with toxic waste.
Yeah, it flushes out every night.
It floods I don't understand.
How much toxic waste is in New York?
Right.
Because, I mean, okay, so you've got the Ninja Turtles were created by it, but that's the same stuff that also made Daredevil.
Yeah.
So,
But that's in barrels that spill out of a truck after a crash.
right, but I'm sure some of it was being transported down into the sewers.
Does toxic waste fuck? Because if toxic waste fucks, the barrels that made Daredevil went to the sewer and made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it just kept fucking and fucking and fucking. And now there's an ocean of the stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to assume.
Okay.
That's like amoebas,
Oh, I get what you
but
mean.
it's toxic waste.
Yeah. But yeah, Jason catches up with him and kills that maintenance guy. And then
Unceremoniously with a wrench.
yeah. And
But it's off screen because it's in shadow.
yeah. See, no, yeah, you're imagining it. It's artsy.
This is theater of the mind.
That's what we need with
Steven.
part 8.
This is Stephen King pen.
Yeah.
See, it's all analogous. It's coming back.
But like Rennie shines a flashlight on him and is like, "You didn't get me in the lake, and you're not going to get me here." And then he chases her,
He's like, oh, okay.
and then she finds one of those barrels of toxic waste,
Yeah.
and she tosses it on him.
And then the mask goes
He,
away.
Yeah, he like rips it off.
And then he's a puppet.
Mhm.
Like a shitty animatronic puppet whose face looks like a crude drawing that someone spilled a bunch of wax over.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
it's real bad.
It's if Seven's Jason Voorhees face reveal is the mountaintop, this is the sewer under the mountain. It's terrible. But then yeah, the rushing of the wall of water or wall of toxic waste, I guess.
Yeah.
It approaches.
But yeah, because Rennie and Sean are like climbing up a ladder trying to get out, but like the grate is, I guess, locked or whatever.
Yeah.
And he catches up to them at the base of this ladder, and then the toxic waste washes through,
Like he promised that maintenance worker.
and it melts Jason.
Well, kind of. It melts everything except his hand, but his hand is a regular hand
Huh?
because then the camera goes down and it's just a little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's reverted back to his young boy form.
Yeah, and as he's laying there, his little boy, Master Splinter, comes running up. And he's like, oh, sick, another kid. And he picks him up and just runs into the sewer. And they're like, should we do something? Sean's like, no, look at all the toxic waste down there. We can't get down there.
Did you see the size of that rat?
Did you see what happened to Jason's face?
Oh my God.
Literally, the movie's over. They leave the
Yeah.
sewer, they get up onto the street, and it's daylight, and rock and roll music plays, and the credits immediately roll on Times Square.
Yeah. It's the same
Oh, the
song.
dog comes back.
Yeah, they do the fake out camera POV, and then she's like, and then it's the dog.
He's doing fine.
He's a good dog.
Yeah, he's a good.
The
movie
little
dog.
bit that he's underutilized.
Tell you what, he's the best movie dog so far because Gordon jumped out of the window and left his family to die, and Jason, the Kincaid's dog from Nightmare, brought Freddy back to life.
Yeah. I mean, Gordon did become a doctor after that, so there is that.
And then it was in Saw.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I don't.
You don't recommend this?
No, not at all. It is a chore to watch. It is everything bad about movies. It is twice as bad. It is twice as boring as any other slasher movie I've ever seen. It is twice as meandering. The plot makes zero sense. The geography of the story is completely strange. I don't understand how this made it into pre-production. I don't understand how somebody reads the script and goes, yeah, okay. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is the most basic film structure on earth. That's all you have to do. And if you want to do something interesting, bring your character back. If your actress is famous now and wants more money, it made the franchise a little more interesting. Pay her the fucking money. I just don't understand. I don't understand this movie, how it exists. I don't understand. The performances are all over the place. Our lead is like asleep behind the wheel the entire time. It's just not a good movie.
Yeah.
In any measurable way.
No, you're not wrong. Because like the effects are almost non-existent,
And that's what
because
you want.
The kills are all done off screen or out of frame. Jason's makeup is phenomenal, but besides that, it's Kane's performance.
Jason's
coming through
makeup
it.
is kind of it's mostly wet.
Well, and I
like,
don't mean when he's at the end without the mask. I mean like him throughout the whole thing.
Right. It's like you can see little moldy pieces of rotten skin under some clothing.
I like that you can still see like his row of teeth. That you could see more of it in 7, but like you still see it some, like through his cheek.
Sure.
So it's little things like that. I like the kind of like bloated, rotted, waterlogged corpse that he is.
If you have the makeup from the last one, repurpose it, use
Just
it
lying
again.
around.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah, it's latex. Some of those prosthetics are probably gone, but you have to have cast his face. You have to have made the cast. You shot for days. Yeah, you couldn't use the same prosthetic every day. Just pay the money.
Yeah.
It was the shortcut on everything to go, well, we're shooting in New York. And then you don't even shoot in New York.
Yeah.
Just make it Jason gets on a fucking boat. There's a cruise. There's a fucking Crystal Lake cruise that goes around Crystal Lake. Because you can say Crystal Lake because it's fictional. You can say it's humongous. And there's a cruise that goes around. It's like a party cruise. And they get stuck on a boat with Jason.
Yeah. Find a reason to put Jason on the boat. I mean, we already kind of referenced it, but the sequence in Dracula, the story of them on the Demeter, of like he is traveling and then awakens and murders the crew one by one.
Basically what Jason X is.
It's like, yeah, it's do that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, find a more interesting thing. Don't sell it on the gimmick of, oh, we're putting him in the Big Apple, and then you don't. We have our differing opinion on Jason X, but it's like, I like where that goes far more than what happens there.
Let me be clear. Jason X is not my favorite, but Jason X is infinitely better than this. It is interesting. The characters are over dramatic and the whole thing is kind of played like a comedy, but at least it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That movie is infinitely better than this one because they take Jason, fish out of water, move him away from where he is supposed to be, and he doesn't care. He just acts like himself, and that's great. And this one, they're like, let's take him out of the water, and he's going to act normal, but everybody around him is just going to act like... It's like the movie wants to focus and spotlight on every character, but then doesn't do it well for anybody.
No. It doesn't. We don't spend enough time to get to know any of them well enough to care.
Yeah. The only death I care about by the end of the movie is I want to see McCulloch die, but that's just because the actor portrays him as such a fucking dickhead that watching him get dunked like a fucking cartoon in Roger Rabbit is hilarious.
Oh, that's a good pull.
Yeah.
We should have just watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Honestly, man, as we get closer to the end of these, I'm just thinking we should watch nothing ever again. Thanks for tuning into the Third Channel podcast. Please, if you have the time, rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast apps.
You can follow us on social media at Third Channel Podcast, and you can find me online at ThatDRosenberg.
You can also reach out to us at thirdchannelpodcast@gmail.com, where we check every message we swear. Third Channel is hosted by PJ Minette
and Derek Rosenberg. Theme song and audio engineering by Fly Guy Ty.
The logo designed by Bell DeVelco.
Episode artwork by Nathan Walkington.
Keep it tuned right here to the Third Channel for all things horror. And remember, don't touch that dial. Egg salad and eggs.